Hi, I'm Whack.
Hey, and I'm Pat. And thanks for joining us for another episode of the Weekly Orbit, the week ending. We're recording on Saturday, July 13th, so we'll call it that. Thanks for joining us. Whack, you are overseas
Yep,
doing some foreign correspondent work for the Weekly Orbit.
yep.
So, how's it going there? Do you want to tell our listeners where you're recording, or is it a secret location?
Yeah, I'm recording from my childhood bedroom in my parents' house in England, so that's where I am right now.
That's good.
Yeah,
And you'll be there for the next few weeks until
yeah. So three more
beginning of
weeks
August.
of weekly,
Yep.
yeah, three more weekly orbit episodes from here, maybe,
Yep.
hopefully. Yeah,
Hopefully. It's been
yeah.
kind of a slow week with news. We're kind of in the summer. This happens in TradFi as well, right? A lot of folks go on vacation. People are out doing outdoor activities, and markets tend to be like low volume, not a lot going on. Let's take a look at the price of Ethereum here. We're currently at 3,164. This is definitely an improvement from last week. It's up 3.4%. I remember last week we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about the meltdown. So we
Yeah,
had a little bit of recovery. Rocket Pool is up 3.5%, so a little bit more than ETH than last week. Let's take a look. The ratio, we're down a little bit
pretty
on
much
that,
flat.
flat. So it
Yeah,
was at
flat. Yeah.
0.0050 and we are at 0.0050. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
about flat. So we had a little bit of recovery there. I think when we recorded last week, ETH was below 3,000. Now we're above 3K. So in
Yeah.
fact, we got down to, there's this dip here
Mm-hmm.
around July 7th. We got down to 2865, and then we had a huge
And RPL went
uptick there. I think,
RPL went down even more. So you want to have a look at that chart?
yeah,
That's kind of ugly. Yeah, RPL went down. I think down to $13 something.
yeah, yeah,
Um, right
1359.
there,
Yep.
thirteen
And
fifty nine.
then we
Yeah, and then they had a
recovered
20%
a little
up
bit.
day, and then it's kind of like lost some of that since then as well. So there's been
Right.
some wild swings in price, but sentiment is in the absolute garbage for all of crypto right now, and people are just hoping that the ETH ETF will come and save us soon. I think that's the thing that people are banking on now. It's like the ETH ETF will do something and help us, but knowing how crypto works is always max pain. So we'll probably get like, half of Grayscale's ETH will be
Hmm.
withdrawn and dumped on day one or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And then they will just all be crying into empty or heavy bags basically, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, it just seems like it goes that way, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
let's take a look at Anthony Sassano and his podcast this week. I thought he made, in terms of markets, he did a little
Yeah.
quick analysis. He said he was riding his bike.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. He was thinking, and he mapped out Ethereum from 2016 on a monthly return basis, and basically
Mm-hmm.
he charted out at the end of the month, was it up or down in price? And there was 100, let's see, since 2016 there's been 100 months. Did I do that right? That right? Yeah.
Yeah, 8 years. Yeah,
Yeah, one.
that's right.
Yeah, 8 years. So 100 months, and 58 of the 100 were up, 42 were down. Okay, so most of
Mm-hmm.
the time, I think the idea is that, hey guys, zoom out. I know we're focused on this on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, but sometimes it's better to just, touch grass and look at the big picture. So that's what Anthony was
Mm-hmm.
doing here. So 58 out of 100 months, the price was up. And then he goes, the next one he did was on a quarterly basis. And there's been 34 quarters, 23 of them have been up, 11 have been down. All right. So now this is relative. Like if you bought at 4,800 at the top of the last bull market, yeah, you're still in the negative, right? But just generally speaking, asset prices, they kind of go up over time. I was wondering when I saw this, we looked at the stock S&P 500, over the last 8 years. I guarantee we'd probably see something similar where most of the time, most quarters, we're up rather than down.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's the summer doldrums, and we all want to see the price go up, 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 but we're going to have weeks or days where the price goes down. But if you're in this for the long run, I think we'll all be okay. Do you have any thoughts on the analysis?
Yeah, I think that totally makes sense for ETH, right? Like people who have gotten in ETH at pretty much any point over the last 8 years are doing okay. Like either
Mm,
they are up bigly, which like most people are who've gotten like further back, or they are not that down that bad. The problem is that like people holding RPL aren't doing as well, and that's kind of our favorite token for some of
yeah.
us, or our biggest holding for some of us. And the fact that that's not doing so well is like leading to a lot of negative sentiment in the community, and I think that's kind of like what we need to like have a look at, I guess. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is just about how like the alt market tends to just bleed and bleed and bleed, and then it
Mm,
has this period of dramatic overperformance.
yeah.
Now, there's no guarantee that the alt that you hold will do that, but I think that's the kind of thing that we're hoping on now is we'll get this like 6 to 12 month burst of extreme like overperformance compared to ETH and Bitcoin, and
Mm,
hopefully that will come within the next 12 to 18 months, and that kind of lines up with like the macro cycles, like the crypto macro cycles. The actual macro cycles may be like going into uh, you know uh, interest rate reduction and more quantitative easing cycles, also like just alts picking a bid basically, and hopefully that kind of stuff will happen at the same time. Of course, with Rocket Pool, we'll have new tokenomics potentially going online at some point within that period as well.
mm,
So there's a lot of stuff, but right now it just the doldrums is where we are, and it feels kind of horrible for people. And the only thing we can do is like write it out, like yeah,
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 I agree. So we'll keep an eye on the markets.
yeah.
Another thing that happened this week was the team had some comments. They've been focused on getting Houston out the door, and now it seems like they're 100% focused now on the future Saturn upgrades. So Langers gave some. He mentioned the team met and they had a little workshop, talked about
Mm.
um, what kind of comments they had, and they provided. And there was quite a few back and forths here. Do you want, for our listeners, you want to summarize what the team talked about?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily like what the team talked about that I think is the important thing here. Like
Mm,
there's a lot of like technical, like a lot of specifics and technical stuff. The main thing that we should take away from this is that the team and the community are involved in quite an active dialogue now. I think what
mm,
had happened is, when November last year, when we really heard about Lido's CSM, and it kind of like lit a fire under all of us. There was an initial period where the community and the team kind of talked a little bit, but then once we went into like the rapid incubator phase and phase after that, I feel like the communication between the team and the community kind of fizzled out a little bit, or like there wasn't as obvious like that was happening. And now they were focusing on Houston, right? Like they had a lot of work to
yeah.
do on that stuff, and now that that is done, it's really really great to see that the Langers and Kane are spending more time, like kind of letting these ideas marinate, and spending time like talking to the community about it. So a lot of the stuff is like quite technical with what they're going back and forth with. They're just trying to figure out what the scope of the work might be, what the specifics of the work might be, what is feasible, what is not feasible, what can happen sooner, what might happen later, all of this kind of stuff. But the fact that these discussions are happening and the tone with which they're happening is actually really exciting and really encouraging. I'm really hoping that we'll be in a really good position in the next few weeks where we as a community will have a good idea what's coming next. The team will have a good idea what they need to be working on, and then we can start working on Saturn. So we're in July right now. Best case scenario will be January 25, I think, for getting Saturn 1 out of the door. Potentially a little bit later than that, like maybe
Mm,
March or April. But hey, look, we're working towards it, and the fact that this is happening in the best spirit, I think, is really encouraging.
right. Yeah. No, I think my digestion of some of the comments were, I think Samus kind of alluded to this in his rebuttal was some of these specifics, we don't really need to get perfect right now. We can come up late once we've get something out the door. We can always tweak. None of this is permanent, right?
Hmm.
For example, if we're talking about changing the commission, should it be automated, market based, or should it be require a vote? Like that type of discussion is we don't need to get it perfect right now. It's basically let's put something into the protocol where it allows us to change the commission up or down.
Yeah.
And then later on
Yeah.
we'll figure out, do we want this to be automated or not? And I like that idea. Is like, okay, this discussion, we can continue having it. We don't have to come to an absolute decision at this moment. So that
Yeah.
was my takeaway. But it's good to see. Now there's going to be a sentiment check, hopefully this week. July 15th is my understanding,
Yeah.
just to kind of see where we're at in terms of the community. And is that your understanding too?
Yeah, so that was the last date that came across when I was reading it. I'm a few days behind now, and the idea was like, if certain things go in line with what they thought they were going to go with, then that's when the sentiment check would happen. Now I'm a bit out of the loop with that, so I haven't really caught up with that. But as far as I know, there should be either a sentiment check happening starting on Monday on the forum or very soon after that. So this is getting to a really exciting period now.
Yeah.
We've also got a new proposal coming in from 1KX. So it looks like we might actually, have two proposals on the slate once we get to that level, get to that position. So I think that's going to be really exciting as well. And it might even be that the Saturn vote is broken up into two votes. One where, it says, yeah, we want to do this, and then another one where we vote on specifics. So there's still a few things that I think need to be sorted out. Like that was according to the last time I caught up on that. The things might have changed, so I'm sorry if my information's a bit out of date there. But it's getting really close now where things are coming to a head now. Like, we're actually going to see legit like governance movement. So it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that is exciting. Okay, next on the agenda is delegation. Now, I delegated my nodes this week. I did not delegate to you, Wack.
Thank you.
And you've updated your little bio. You state updated as of July 11th. Please do not give me more voting power if my voting power is above 2,000 as it is right now. So, and I think a few people, I think was it Vale? Somebody else said kind of the same thing, right?
Val
Please
and
do
Patches.
not. Patches, yeah. Patches got a bunch here as well.
Yeah.
Right. So if you haven't delegated yet, please do. I'll put it in the show notes again, like have the instructions if you're a node operator, and also instructions if you're all nodes, because you can also interact directly with the contract. Val put together the instructions for that, and it's very helpful. But we need to get over, I'm not sure what percentage it is, but we got to get more node operators activated on the new on-chain voting system before we can actually do it. And
Yeah.
I don't know where we're at on that or what the threshold is. Do you?
Yeah, I think so. We need to get 50% of node operators, as far as I know, initialized. And then of that, I think we've had around 60% of that 50%. So we've had about 30% of all nodes. All of our node operators have initialized their vote based on that, yeah. So it's coming along. It's going a little bit slowly, but like we're making good progress. And I think 1KX initialized, and I think Marco Barco either has initialized or is about to initialize as well. And they've got a whole lot of vote power as well. So it's happening. Like it's just hopefully, we can get a whole lot more vote coming online in the next few days, and then we'll be all good. But it might still be a few more days.
Is there a way we can check that? Is there a bot on the Discord? A command or something?
There is one about initializing vote under trading, and then if you go to trading and then you click on the threads on the top of trading. No, on
there we go.
Yeah, there's trading, and then click on the thread. No, that one. Yeah, and then scroll down a bit. Oh wait, no, these are the ones that you've joined, so you might have to search for it. Yeah, well, it's okay. That's fine.
It's okay. We could do. But I'm just curious, like, if there's a way to check in real time where we're at.
There is a thread, yeah, but you have to ask, and then someone can run a script to tell you where we're at. But I think that's kind of where we're at. We're in that zone where we've made progress, but it's not quite good enough. And then in the protocol updates, Langas has been giving updates of how much vote has come online as well. So I presume he'll do that again, like in around 24 hours from when we're recording. Oh, no, sorry, about 36 hours from when we're recording on
Mm.
Monday morning Australian time. He might give us an update of where we stand. But yeah, a whole lot bunch of vote has come online. And last week I was talking about how I hadn't gotten that many votes yet and I haven't initialized my own voting yet. And I was kind of happy that I wasn't like the sense of responsibility, that I feel from voting was
Oh,
going to
look
be
at you.
reduced a little bit, and now number one again. So I'm like, no. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
you got
it's
a lot.
yeah,
Patches
I've got
too.
the
Look at
most. Yeah,
yeah,
Patches
patches
has
pretty
got a lot
close.
as well, and I think the thing is like everyone kind of has to act right now. So that's the thing that's different, right? It's like before it was piecemeal, like delegation system was there. Not everyone used it. They could use it. They couldn't use it. It was their choice. But now,
Mm.
like the fact that the whole of the protocol kind of has to go through this process, people are kind of like seeing the people that they're delegating to with new eyes, and it makes sense that um, the most like in your face members of the community are the ones that people kind of gravitate towards. So that's kind of understandable. But um, let's pick some of the slightly less seen people going forward, please.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I didn't vote. I didn't delegate to you. I delegate. Well, I've I've got a node for my IRA and I got a node for my regular. So I split it up between two different people, right? Just
that's
to make
good.
diversify even more, right?
Yeah,
And try to
excellent.
pick, yeah, pick people who are below 1,000 in voting power, and yeah, that should work.
Did
Um,
you submit a screenshot of your vote initialization so you can get a report out for it?
I did not.
Hmm?
I'm not a
Well, that's
POAP
something you
guy,
need
you
to do.
know. I
I
know.
can't
I
believe
got
we
a
have this show.
few.
I think that's the end of this show now.
I know. I
Okay.
know. I'll be really screwed if they start handing out airdrops based on different POAPs you have because my wallet's pretty empty with POAPs.
There were two more this week. There were two more this
I
week.
know.
So
That's right.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't get
Yeah.
either of them, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a win this week?
Yeah, like this vote initialization thing has kind of been a win. It's just really touching that people like value my contributions to the community so much and my knowledge about like Rocket Pool the protocol so much that they will trust me with their vote and so much of their confidence, right? Like it's really touching, and I think that for me is like a huge win. That even though I said people like don't delegate to me anymore, please, people still kind of delegated to me. I know that's not good from a protocol level, but it's still kind of makes you feel warm and fuzzy that people think so highly of you. So I think that's my big win of the week.
That's a good one. My win is Ethereum. And I remember at the lows when Ethereum was, or ETH was like 800 something in the last, at the lowest of the bear, people were like, ETH is dead. ETH is dead. And then 200% later, we're at over 3,000 and people are still saying ETH is dead. Sometimes it feels that way, but when you zoom out, Ethereum keeps outperforming other assets. And
Yeah,
now I want to see RPL do that as well. I'm hoping that the alt market at some point recovers and shoots up. But
yeah,
my win is all those long term investors out there who have confidence, and um, I'm not super excited about the ETH ETFs this coming out of the gate. I think it's going to be a little slow, only because it's the middle of summer. We just talked about just people aren't paying attention.
yeah.
They're just going about their lives. Perhaps I expect. I mean, if you want, I don't know, opinion for what it's worth, maybe the fourth quarter, you'll start to see things pick up as people in the northern hemisphere, start spending more time indoors and getting back to work and starting looking at the stuff. So until then, if you're in this for long haul, like I am, I'm going to be dollar cost averaging. But it's not financial advice. But anyways, that's my win for the week is
Yeah, great.
Ethereum. It just every time people are saying it's dead, it it it's almost like if you hear people saying it, just buy more. So hopefully we'll see where we're at, next, like you said, in the 12 to 18 months, and
Yeah,
we'll be all better for it.
I
So
think it's going to be a really good year to year and a half ahead, and that's what we're here for, right? Like that's what we're hoping happens, and I think it's going to be a really good time for us all.
yeah, I do too. Okay,
Yeah,
folks. Well, that ends the show. A little short one this week, but we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening and watching, and like and subscribe. Whack. Enjoy your week in UK. We'll see you hopefully next week at some point.
yeah.
And take care.
Thanks.
Be safe.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Okay.